What's up guys, I'm James and welcome back to the Great Gambino channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Seiko SKX013. If you do end up liking this video, consider subscribing or clicking that like button as it really does help me out and motivates me to keep pushing this channel forward. Years ago I owned the SKX009 Pepsi that I reviewed on this channel. I will have a link to that video in the description. Since parting with that piece, I've always had the urge to repurchase it. For the sake of changing it up, I decided to go with the SKX013 as I feel it would be a much better fit for my 6.75 inch wrist. Unfortunately, they do not make the 38mm SKX with a Pepsi dial, so I will be modding this piece to better represent the 009. That video should be up soon, so be on the lookout for that. And here's the first look at the 013. You can see this one is on the rubber strap. They also sell these with a Jubilee bracelet. I'm going to be pairing this piece with the strap code Super Jubilee that I reviewed last week. That's why I decided to go with the stock rubber bracelet, giving me multiple band options, a basic user manual, and a pretty firm Seiko pillow, the Seiko marketing tag, and around back a protective seal over the Wave logo. But let's go ahead and remove those things so we can take a closer look. The origins of the SKX go all the way back to 1965, with what's known as the grandfather of these timeless pieces, the 6105. Seiko set out to create a watch that would be cheap, easily accessible, and extremely reliable. It would later become a commonly used tool by US soldiers during the Vietnam War, where it proved to be built like a tank. In 1988, Seiko released the 7002, slimming down the case and designing a piece that looks very similar to the current versions. The 7002 would eventually be replaced in 1996 by the 7S26 series that we all have grown to love. I got this information from MonocchromeWatches.com. I will have a link to the website in the description if you'd like to learn more. Real quick, I'll give you some measurements. We have a diameter of 38mm, lug to lug is 44.5mm. If you want to change out the band, it's going to be 20mm, and we have a case thickness of 13mm. The screw-down crown is positioned at the 4 o'clock, and this piece is ISO rated, offering 200 meters or 660 feet of water resistance. With the SKX013, you will get a matte black aluminum bezel, just like on the 007. The numbers appear to be basic white in the video, but in person, I feel they have a slight metallic shimmer to them. It's very subtle, and I could be wrong, but that's just how it looks to me under this lighting. The edge of the bezel is coined with a split seam running through the center, and on my 009, the bezel action was very loose, and it must have been due to a bad tension spring, because this 013 has an excellent and extremely satisfying bezel action. It's firm but animates very smooth. I'll let you hear what that sounds like. Seiko has used their proprietary Hardlex crystal. It's known to be better than mineral crystal, but not quite as scratch resistant as sapphire. In my personal experience with Hardlex, I have not dealt with any scratches yet on any of my Seikos, so I am a huge fan. That's not to say it's invincible, because I have heard other reviewers claim to have scratched their Hardlex. Now this watch does not have an AR coating, but I would like to point out that it almost reacts as if it does, showing very minimal glare. Underneath the Hardlex glass is that iconic and timeless dial, set in a matte black with rounded off hour indicators, a large triangle marking at the 12, and a day-date window at the 3 o'clock. We have similar hour and minute hands from the 007 and the 009, but the second hand is custom, making this model unique from the rest of the SKX line. Powering this mini marvel is the incredible 21-jewel 7S26. It's a basic movement, but it does have it where it counts. You will have to use the automatic method of winding as it has no manual option. There's no hacking, and it ticks at a lower BPH of 21,600. But it packs a 41-hour power reserve, features the day-date complication, and these movements are known to run for 10 to 20 years without needing service. The top of the stainless steel case is brushed with a circular pattern that blends into the chamfered edge, and the high polished side has a beveled center that reflects light, creating a little bit of bling effect. Flipping it over shows off the solid steel screw-down case back that is branded with the Seiko Wave. The Wave is a marketing cycle that Seiko uses to indicate the watch's level of water resistance. It is most likely inspired by the famous Japanese work of art, the Great Wave of Kanagawa, created by Katsushika Hakusai. I found this information on the GMT-5 website. I will have a link to their page in the description so you can dive deeper into the history. The stock rubber strap has corrugated tops that measure 20mm and taper down to about 18mm by the bottom. We have plenty of sizing holes and another branded Wave logo on the end. On the reverse side, we have a thick, durable keeper and a basic brushed buckle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Lume shot. The hands, hour indicators, and bezel pip are all coated with a thick application of Seiko's Lume Bright. It's fast absorbing and extremely bright. On a full charge, it should last most of the night, but I'd like to add that it will lose its initial insane brightness after about 10 minutes. When I reviewed the 009 years ago, I was blown away with how bright the Lume was. While it's still very impressive, these days I'm not as floored as I used to be. And that's most likely because I've become accustomed to brands like NTH that have some of the brightest and longest lasting Lume I have ever experienced. With that said, the SKX013 still has an excellent Lume. Here we have a side-by-side shot with an American quarter to give you a better representation of the scale. And here's a shot on my 6.75-inch wrist. Right away I can say that I love it and it feels great. The rubber strap has a little bit more runoff than I would like, but the watch case itself leaves me with no complaints. One thing I want you to keep in mind is that the watch looks a little bit smaller on my wrist than what you're seeing here. The camera tends to make objects slightly larger than they are. Hopefully the quarter comparison shot helps. But let's go ahead and cut to some outdoor shots so I can show you that natural light reflection. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this Seiko SKX013 review. If you're interested in seeing my next video where I mod this piece with a Pepsi bezel and strap code Jubilee, make sure to subscribe and click the bell button so you get an automatic update when that video becomes available. Thanks for watching this video. I really do appreciate all the comments I receive. It's cool hearing all of your opinions and recent pickups. Definitely something I look forward to throughout my day. So I just wanted to say thank you for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.